I'd like to welcome Timothy, Melanie, and has Courtney come on? Yeah. Okay, awesome. They work with the shelter and Safe Place. And Timothy, can you tell us a bit about the Safe Place program, what exactly it is and how it works?
Yes, so as you were saying, my name is Timothy Wright. I'm the Safe Place Coordinator. And so Safe Place here in Tarrant County, we service youth that are in between the ages of 10 to 17. So that means if they're homeless, they're going from couch to couch, they don't have a stable environment, dealing with drug addiction, sex trafficking, all of those things, they can be go to any site with the Safe Place sign, and we'll dispatch one of our counselors who's part of our response team to come out. And what we do is an assessment with them. So really assessing their needs, figuring out what do they need, if it's just a place to stay or if they're getting into an argument, helping them with those resources, connecting them with counselors here that we have at the agency. But if they're truly homeless, we bring them back to our emergency youth shelter, making sure that we provide them with a ride with a local taxi authority that we have there, really just making sure that their next step into the shelter is a comfortable one. So from there, I work with Courtney and Melanie on making sure that transition from what we call a street life into a normal, peaceful environment.
Awesome, thank you, TJ. Melanie, can you tell us a bit more about the shelter and if a child comes through Safe Place and they come to the shelter, what happens?
Yeah, so when we have kids come through the shelter, we meet with them immediately. We see if there's any immediate needs that they need, hygiene products, any kind of medical needs, food. A lot of times they come in hungry if they've been couch surfing or just living on the streets, whatever their situation may be, clothing. And then we do an intake. We set them up and we try to get them their own room if we have space available, just so that they have time to kind of decompress from whatever the situation may be that they're coming from. Do you have anything to add?
And then from there, we just kind of check on them, let them know that we're here for them if they need anything, they want to talk. Again, we do have those counselors that are, in the house that if they need somebody to, just to woos off with, we just let them know like this is what it's called, a safe place, and they're able to just kick back and just be able to know that they don't have to watch their back, that there's adults and staff there that are there just to make sure they're taken care of in these times.
The acceptance review.
Once they're settled, our normal day-to-day routines go into place. During the school year, we do have school on site through Fort Worth ISD. During the summer, we try to get out and do outings now that we're able to really get out more, go to the movies, we went to the zoo last weekend, go-karts, bowling,
Swimming, whatever.
Swimming. Yeah, we just try to give them some kind of normalcy while they're here.
And so I just wanted to add, one of the beautiful things about Safe Place and the Emergency Youth Shelter is they're really like kind of the catalyst for all the programs. The youth, so if there's ever a situation where a youth does have to be removed to the home, we do have foster care and all those other things. So Safe Place is truly the kind of the open door to allow the families and youth to come in, as far as the homeless youth and things that are there. It's really a place for them to go and to connect no matter where they're at in Tarrant County, whether that's a community center, a YMCA, all QTs in Tarrant County, as well as some churches and small businesses. So no matter where they're at in Tarrant County, they'll be connected with one of the two programs, regardless of if they need the services or if they just need help along the way.
What are the ages of the kids that you guys receive at the shelter?
They're 10 to 17.
And a lot of when we have the Safe Place kids who come through, we're not only just working with the kids, also the parents do get involved. So if they need, time to, apart so that they can learn to communicate better and be able to understand each other on a level to where they can go back home and cohabitate, then that we do that too. The counselors meet with the parents, they have family counseling and all that stuff. So it's good, when they come here, it's not just we keep them and then you got to go back in. That's it. We actually work so that they can move forward smoothly.
Yeah, our goal is reunification. So making sure that the reunification process is safe for them to go back home and that everybody feels comfortable, whether that's kid and parents.
And we just got a good question in the chat. How long do youth usually stay in the youth emergency shelter for?
We are temporary. It is day by day, case by case. The longest they can stay is up to 90 days.
I wanted Courtney to talk a bit about Supper Club and the shelter. The shelter, we tend to have a lot of supper clubs over there, so I'm excited to start them back up.
Yes. So supper clubs at the shelter are greatly appreciated, not just by the staff, but the kids especially. For the kids, it's really good for them because every day the staff can tell them that we're here for them, we're here to listen, and we kind of get hit with, oh, you're just here that's your job. That's the only reason you're here. So to have people that voluntarily come in without, there's no money involved like this, they just want to come and sit and talk with you. It helps those kids to be able to be more open and realize that there are people out there that do have their back, that, want the best for them. And of course, the meal helps it even better because they get tired of our cooking because we are not top chefs. So they love it. So we've had groups that come in and, like she said, play games. We've had groups come in where they just come in and say, whatever you want to do, we'll do. Play video games. The boys love when the younger gentlemen come in and they play basketball with them. We've had somebody come in and had a whole magic show. So even though these kids could be 17, 18 years old, they light up like 3 and 4. They're just excited. And so it just helps them, be able to relax and be kids again, because a lot of them come in with having to grow up so fast and they didn't get to be a kid. So just that helps out so much to be able to do that. So we want as many volunteers as we can get to just be able to love on these kids like we do every day. So the volunteers are greatly appreciated, and it's fun. It's an experience. So
thank you so much, Courtney. You're right. We have the best volunteers.
Are there cases where a kid has come to the shelter and stayed in one of the ACH programs afterwards?
Yes, so one that comes to mind is actually one that came through Safe Place to begin with. He lost his parents, his brother. One of his brothers was on drugs. He just had nowhere to go. He'd been living on park benches, trying to go to school, just wondering where his next meal was going to be, where he was going to sleep, if his stuff was going to get taken while he was asleep. And he came to the shelter. He was not too happy about CPS. He didn't understand CPS at first, but once he understood what CPS was for, he went into CPS care and it was super beneficial for him. He went over to the Morris house, and while he was at the shelter, he started working. He transferred jobs once he went to the Morris house and continued working, was able to finish school. And so if they're not able to transition back home, we do try to get them transitioned to other programs if that's what they need. We've had kids go from the shelter to the RTC. We've had kids, where else have they gone?
Some of them have went home, and that's always a bonus. Other ones have went to Job Corps. Just whatever we can do, we always try to hit whatever resources we have, whatever we can get for these kids. We try to go to whatever. Instead, we're not just keeping them here and then like, okay, you got to figure it out. We are hands-on. Even after they leave us, we have follow-ups to check and make sure everything is going good. So it's
there's been quite a few kids that come back to visit us.
Yes.
So, and that's always exciting.